If you're new to writing and want to connect with a wonderful online writing community, you might be struggling with how to find it. In my last video, I talked about how the writing community help you improve. In this video, we'll look at how to connect with other writers. I should probably warn you that a lot of the things that I'll say in this video are my personal opinions based on no facts whatsoever, which, to be honest, also sums up how most of the publishing industry works anyway. So the first thing you need to understand is that different platforms serve different purposes, and the ones that will help you the most depend on where you are in your writing journey. If you're in an early writing stage, your focus is learning the craft and finding peers. This is where platforms like Discord, Reddit, and Facebook shine. Discord servers offer chats, writing sprints, critique swaps, and things like that. To find open Discord servers, you can just Google writing Discord server, and you'll find servers like the ones I marked in red here. Read the server descriptions to see if it fits you. Once you join, read the rules, introduce yourself, and start small. Maybe join a writing sprint or respond to someone's question before posting your own. Here's an example of a writing server and my introduction in that server. Reddit offers communities for writing beta reading, and they're called things like r/writing for advice or r/destructive readers for tough love feedback. Go to reddit.com and use the search bar for terms like writing romantasy or querying agents. Sort by top to see the most popular posts and get a feel for the community's vibe. Make sure to read and follow the rules before jumping in. Personally, I haven't been much on Discord or Reddit, but I have been on Facebook. And from what I understand, it has some of the most niche active writing groups around, especially for specific genres. In the Facebook search bar, type in what genre you write and add writers or authors. Or you can join the more generic writing groups like Writers Helping Writers. If you search for beta readers, you can also find groups where writers can post about their book and ask for beta readers. But if I'm honest, my experience when I've tried this has been a bit of a hit or miss. You can click on a group and check the About section to find out more about what it's about. And be sure to check under Featured, because that's where admin can post anything they think might be important for this group. When you join, many groups will ask a few entry questions, mainly just to make sure you've read the group rules. Answer them fully to get approved. And make sure to read the pinned post with group rules before posting. One important aspect of these three platforms is that you don't need to care about algorithms. On Discord, Reddit, and Facebook, you can just enter into a closed space, like a server, a community, or a group, and there you will see relevant posts about the topic you're interested in. There are no such groups in these other platforms. For those, you only have a feed with people's posts. And when you post yourself, it's like shouting into the void and hoping that the right people will hear you. This is where the algorithm kicks in. If you only like posts about writing, the algorithm will pick that up and start showing you more posts about writing. So that's very important to keep in mind when you enter these platforms in the next stages. Only like and engage with posts that you want to see more of, and ignore everything else. So when your manuscript is close to the finish line and you start to think about maybe querying agents, you should consider joining writing communities that focus more on that part of the journey. This will help you connect with the publishing industry, but not just with agents or editors, but also with writers who are in a similar situation as you and can share advice and help you improve. This is a great time to join Twitter. And yes, I will continue to say Twitter because it sounds better than X. Unfortunately for the writing community, a certain Mr. Hotshot decided to buy Twitter and rain chaos upon us, so many in the writing community decided to flee to other platforms. But in my experience, no other platform has really managed to do what Twitter does, and there are still plenty of writers there and many have come back. From what I understand, some writers tried Threads for a while, but it's mostly just chaos and rage. I haven't tried it myself, but my advice is don't go there. Then we have Blue Sky, where lots of writers migrated after the Twitter debacle. The trouble with Blue Sky is that the algorithm isn't working, like at all, which means no matter how much I engage with other writers, I still don't see any relevant posts in my feed, and my own posts get lost in space with almost no views. So the engagement on Blue Sky is lacking. And as you can see here, I have 1.6 thousand followers on Twitter, but I have twice as many on Blue Sky. But it means nothing because I get almost zero engagement on Blue Sky, except for pitch events where people actually search for the event hashtag and see the relevant posts. But the way I see it, that is the only time when Blue Sky works. Twitter is still the best platform for connecting with writers. And yes, it moves fast and can be chaotic, but it's the best place for pitch events, agent interactions, and quick networking with writers in a similar situation as you. To get started with Twitter, start by optimizing your profile. Make it clear you're a writer. Add writer or author and feel free to add your genre as well. If you want to, you can also add something personal about you, but that's totally optional. And honestly, there isn't really room to write a lot here. Whenever you go to home, which is where you will see everybody else's posts, make sure to only like and comment on posts that has to do with writing to teach the algorithm what you want to see. After a while, you will see less irrelevant stuff and more writing related posts. If you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about the book you're writing, you can do that in a post. Add some fitting images or a mood board if you want to. Writers on Twitter love this stuff. Here's an example of the very first pitch I did for my book. I did it for a pitch event called Unhinged Pit, which is why it is, well, a bit unhinged. But you don't need to participate in pitch events to do a post about your book. If you want to get a little bit more serious, you can do an agent's guide, which is something that has been used quite a lot by writers to catch agents' attention lately. It usually looks something like this, although this is my editor's guide, but it's basically the same thing. After posting about your book, I suggest you pin it to your profile by clicking the 3 dots and choose the pin option there. I would suggest that you also write another post where you introduce yourself and say you're new to Twitter and hoping to connect with the writing community. And you can say that you will follow back anyone who follows you. Using hashtags can be a good idea. I don't know how much they impact the algorithm and increase visibility, but I do know that people actually search for these hashtags, so they're at least useful in that way. Whenever you're writing a post about something writing related, I think these are the most commonly used hashtags. For more inspiration, search for these hashtags in Twitter's search bar and you'll find lots of examples of people who posted with these hashtags. Also, try following some of those writers that you come across, and more importantly, engage with them. Like, retweet, and comment if they have posted something you find interesting, and hopefully they will follow you back. Oh right, if you haven't been on Twitter before, you might feel a bit disoriented by the retweet function. If you retweet someone else's message, it will appear on your personal profile, and that person's post will get a little boost. So this is a good thing. You want to retweet things to encourage it, but don't overdo it. You don't want to clog down your own feed with only retweets. You should write your own posts too, once in a while. Be aware, though, that there are a ton of scammers and bots on Twitter, and they are experts at impersonating either famous best-selling authors or book marketers that just want to help make your book shine or whatever. Some even impersonate agents, like this one. Awful. Especially when they like your pitch and you think it's an invitation to query them. There's really no way to immediately know by this profile that this is a fake agent. You have to Google them and do your research to really be sure. But you can rest assured that if you follow a writer or agent or anything and they slide into your DMs and start asking questions about how's it going or something about your book or anything, they are most likely not real writers. Real writers usually don't connect with you right after befriending you. And if they do, they usually have some specific errand and will make that clear. If you get a DM from a random person without any clear reason for why, just go to their profile and block them and delete the comment without even answering. That's what I do. Scammers and bots don't deserve our precious time. One of the main reasons I started using Twitter was because I wanted to join pitch events, since I heard that it could be a way to attract agents' attention. But talking about pitch events is a whole different monster, so I'll get into more details regarding those in my next video. Instead, let's move on to Discord, which I added here again, but this time I mean private servers that you can only get into by invitation. These usually have a smaller community with writers who are at the same stage as you, which means you're usually struggling with the same things and can help each other out. The things discussed are more relevant to you than in open Discord groups, which can get clogged down with newer writers asking newbie questions and lots of other stuff. If you get invited to a private writing server, I suggest you take it. Or you can start one yourself. Let's talk about the next stage of your writing journey, which is either if you got an agent or you decided to self-publish. This is when you want to start focusing more on building your reader audience and keeping them engaged. I personally didn't get into Instagram until after I got an agent, but I'm starting to realize that there's a writing community over there too. So I'm currently trying to connect with both writers and readers on Instagram. You can do videos, which is called Reels, or you can do posts with images, Or you can do stories, which is only visible for 24 hours. Instagram used to be focused on only images, but videos are becoming more and more common. I don't think it hurts to start growing your Instagram account as soon as possible. So my advice is to create an account early on and start playing around with it. You can always delete things later if you feel cringe about them, which honestly I feel with a lot of stuff that I create. But if you don't start, you'll never figure out what works and what doesn't. You'll never improve and you'll have a hard time connecting with others. So just do it. Get out there and embarrass yourself. I'm not going to go into detail about how to use Instagram because I'm just getting into it myself. But if you figure out how to use Twitter and Facebook, I think you'll get the hang of Instagram too. TikTok is in many ways similar to Instagram, or at least what Instagram is becoming. I've been following BookTok for years, which is the reading community on TikTok. But after the temporary ban a couple of months ago, my feeling is that TikTok is seeing less and less activity, and many content creators are moving to Instagram. I also want to mention Facebook again, because many readers are actually on Facebook. You can find many reader groups there, but be wary of posting about your book, trying to promote yourself. It rarely works. Personally, I just follow lots of reader groups to stay updated about what readers in my genre is talking about, what they're asking for and craving, and what they're fed up with and have seen too much of. It's all very subjective, of course, but I feel like I get a little bit better sense of what to write and what to avoid by seeing discussions in those groups. There are, however, groups for finding ARC readers, which are readers that will receive a free advance copy of your novel before publication in exchange for an honest review. If you have a publisher, they will probably help you with this, but if you're self-publishing, you're going to want to look into this. You can also create your own group and invite your biggest fans who will help promote your book. This is called a street team. This doesn't have to be a Facebook group. It could just as well be a Discord or Slack channel or whatever. The point is to have a place where you can share information with your team about upcoming releases and give them material that they can use to help promote your book. And I didn't put it in here, but I also want to mention YouTube. I'm using YouTube only as a way to share writing advice. These videos are purely because I love sharing what I've learned so far. I have no delusions that this channel will help readers find my future books. I have seen a few authors make video blogs about their writing journey, but so far I haven't seen any large engagement on those. Maybe I just missed it. Please let me know in the comments if there's a huge writing community on YouTube that I've missed. But otherwise, my advice is to not focus on YouTube unless you're like me and really want to. I've also heard a great deal about using a newsletter, which you might want to consider once you're close to publishing. It's the one audience you can actually own, and it can outlast any social media trend. But I haven't built one myself yet, so I can't talk about this either. A few general tips. Lurk before you leap. Observe how other people interact before you jump in yourself. Don't focus on going viral. Consistency and genuine engagement will get you further than chasing trends. Remember that it's called social media, which means you should be social. It's not about you sending information. It's about connecting and interacting with others. Last but not least, choose 1 or 2 platforms to focus on. If you try to be everywhere, you'll burn out. You only have to be in the right place for your current goals. To wrap things up, think of social media not as an obligation, but as different cafes you can pop into. Some are for quiet writing with friends, some are for networking, and some are for getting on stage and performing. The key is knowing which cafe you actually need right now. All right, that was everything I know about connecting with writers on social media. And as promised, in my next video, I'll talk about pitch events.